I think TikTok and social media have done irreparable damage to hobbying in general.
Price skyrockets and kind of ruins the experience for a lot of people.
But those things take effort, and good dopamine requires effort. It requires working on something.
Okay, y'all, it's time to talk about nerd culture. We're going to talk about how TikTok essentially has ruined collector culture. I have a certain opinion about that. I'll talk to you guys about that at the end, but we're going to watch some videos about some people with some extreme collections and how they feel about what TikTok has done to the game. I know you guys that have been with me for a while have noticed I am a bit of a collector. And not only do I collect bags, I also have a collection of Disney merch. I have a collection of Star Wars merch. I do my fair share of collecting. I also collect mugs. Today, we have good old Garfield. That's actually one from my mom, so that's a really special one to me. Now, I know normally we do crazy, creepy, conspiracy, but we're lightening it up today. So sit back and enjoy, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's watch these videos. But before we do, myself and the algorithm would love if you would watch the video from start to finish, leave a like if you enjoy, and then if you get to the end and say, hey, you know what, I think I like it here, may want to come back and hang out again, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, let's jump right in. Now, if you're a nerd like me or you're somebody who just loves a good collection, you know we don't do this because it's trending. We do this because this is what we love to do. It's something we love to collect. It's something we actually take an interest in. But it's gotten to the point that collectors are now doing these things just because they see the trend. There's no actual attachment or feeling that comes along with the collection. They're just doing it just because it's the thing to do. We all may collect different things, but the culture in and of itself a lot of times is the same. So we're going to start with this girl's response to what TikTok has done to the Build-A-Bear community.
I've been seeing a lot of people coming on here and complaining about creators that are making content about Build-A-Bear and American Girl and Monster High, just dolls and plushies and toy brands in general, because they say that we are ruining the community by making it a trend. And I hate to break it to you, but for me at least, that's kind of the point. Not because I want this hobby to become some fast fashion cycle, but because I want to normalize adults having dolls and plushies. I want to normalize people discovering that the things that brought them joy in their childhood can also bring them joy in their adulthood. Dolls and plushies have helped me through some very difficult moments in my adult life, and they've provided me with a hobby, a creative outlet, community, and the release dates for the limited editions, the special releases, those give me something to look forward to. I don't know, why would I want to gatekeep that? If someone comes on my page and they've never thought to buy a Build-A-Bear before, or they didn't realize that a Monster High doll could help them cope with stress and loneliness and just the adult pressures of their life, and then after seeing stuff on my page, they're like, hey, you know what? That helped me a lot as a child. I wonder if it would help me as an adult. Well, then that's the point for me. That is what I am trying to accomplish here. I don't think that that means I'm ruining the community. Now, I do understand why some people would have some frustration over these things, because I do get how when something goes viral, it's harder for us to buy because we have resellers and, everyone's flooding the websites and there's lag, and it gets to be a little bit harder for us to chase those most wanted items. Like, I do get that, and I'm not trying to diminish that problem. But I don't think that the problem is creators coming on here and sharing what they love and helping other people realize that they might love it too. What I think the problem is resale culture. Maybe I'm alone here, but I'd rather see more adults become comfortable with having dolls and plushies if it means that I might miss out on a couple of the special release items that I'm after. Like, that's a risk I'm willing to take. I'm okay with that.
I collected Disney pins, and these were limited edition Disney pins. And the year that I started collecting, there were monthly releases. Resellers have always been a thing, but this was kind of before it was like all over the internet like it was. And I got we were like to June. And then all of a sudden, just every time we would go to get our Disney pins, the lines would be like out the door. And I'm like, there is no way this many people care about these pens. I get to her point that if it's something that could help somebody look at life a little bit different, maybe help them cope or feel some sort of comfort, then spread the love, don't gatekeep. But for true collectors, people who actually care about the items and they've been building these collections over time, and this is a lifestyle to them, they don't want people who could care less about the item grabbing it just because they saw it on TikTok. So I see both sides, but let's take a look at some more.
So I think TikTok and social media have done irreparable damage to hobbying in general. Obviously, I'm talking about Pokemon in my case, but the art of collecting has turned into the art of showing off, the art of performing, having a better collection, having a better performance than someone else. It's no longer about just ripping packs, having fun, enjoying collecting, building binders. How big of a haul can you take home from a card shop? How much money can you spend? It's not about, hey, I'm opening packs for fun. It's about, I spent $4,000 on Pokemon cards that are going to fill up my closet. We've given crazy, exorbitant prices to what is essentially cardboard. And I know there's a market in everything. Scarcity drives up prices, supply and demand. We throw that term around. Yes, we know what supply and demand is, but when you have a red manga Luffy card worth $8,000 raw, don't you think that's a little insane? No matter how, well, I guess no matter what I'm going to say, people are going to go against it because if 1,000 people want the card, but only 500 cards are available, of course, people are going to pay whatever. So I guess it makes sense. But the point is not that it makes sense. The point is, why is it like this to begin with? And I think that goes back to social media. Social media is a way for things to go viral. And when things go viral, people jump on the bandwagon. And when people jump on the bandwagon, that's when prices go up because the demand goes up. And ultimately, it comes down to people seeing it as a money making opportunity. And if there's money to be made, it's going to be ruined. Money ruins everything, especially hobbies. And that's just how it is. And it's not just Pokemon, it goes to coloring on TikTok. It's all performative. You need the better art supplies. Even water talk. How intense can you make the flavors in your water? How many things can you have on your flavor tower to make crazy combinations? It's all performative, even drinking water, and it's ridiculous. And I realize the irony of me saying all this because I am a content creator. I both enjoy Pokemon and creating content. And obviously, when I'm making content about Pokemon, I am part of the problem. So it's constantly top of my mind. How can I make my content where it's enjoyable and informative for people who are in the hobby without exploiting the hobby? Even though, yes, I do make money with content, it's a fine line, and it's it's crazy. It's crazy how social media destroys hobbies now.
I can just feel the mental battle going on in his head. He's like, but I'm part of the problem, but also I just want to share the love for what I do. But me sharing it draws attention, causes more problems. It's a catch-22. It really is.
So apparently TikTok is ruining the journaling hobby and we need to talk about it. Honestly, I feel like this conversation is weird, but we need to have it because I was on YouTube today looking basically for some TikTok inspo, looking at some journaling, and these videos have millions of views that are basically like, TikTok is ruining journaling, it's ruining hobbies, and here's why. At its core, there's two reasons that journaling is being ruined by TikTok. Camp number one is like, people are buying too much stuff. It's all consumerism. It's all capitalism at its finest. And the other camp is like, oh, it's making everything so aesthetic. It's making everything so pretty and look perfect. And so people are discouraged when they can't do it. And I have thoughts, but like, why are we acting like it's such a bad thing to buy things that bring you joy? By the way, I'm a collector. You can tell I've got my Trixie Mattel doll, my Taylor Swift stuff. If things bring you joy, you're allowed to buy them. Y'all, I didn't set up the capitalist world that we live in, but we do. And some things that bring you joy, it's okay to buy. If you want to buy one marker and that's satisfying to you, great. If you want to buy 20 markers and that's satisfying to you, cool. Why are we policing how people spend their...
He forgot that third point. He said the first point, you want to buy a marker? Cool. You want to buy 20 markers? Fine. What he forgot to mention was when you want to buy 200 markers and resell 199 of them, if not all 200 of them. and you could care less about markers. That's, I feel like, where the problem comes in, only because there's no passion behind it and it takes away from the items that really would have fulfilled that person who was really looking to buy that marker.
If it makes them happy, especially when there are bigger fish to fry in the world. And why don't we say that when it's like men buying tools for their tool shed or for their garage or a gaming PC setup? It's like people spend way more money on stuff that brings them joy. And frankly, when it's like pens and journals and things that people perceive as being female or feminine leaning, like suddenly it's like this big, oh, we're bad for the environment, we're bad for consumerism. But we tend to tack that on to these very hobby-based things. And I think that's a conversation worth having. At the end of the day, whatever allows you to express yourself creatively, visually, through the purchase of something, whether you like to buy stickers or fountain pens or inks or new journals, that's okay. And I don't think it's fair to police how people express themselves and how they spend their money. And if Journal Talk gets more people writing, expressing themselves, creating, and honestly buying from what is a lot of small businesses in this space who generally put money back into their community and other small businesses and perpetuate that cycle, I really don't think that's the worst thing in the world.
He brought up a really good point, and that is that you've got the NBA fans who have their jerseys and their basketballs and they pay for their merch and they buy their season tickets, whatever the case may be. So basketball is their thing. It's okay. They can enjoy basketball, they can spend the money, they can buy the merch. Nobody really, questions anything. But you got that same WWE fan who bought the tickets, buys the merch, buys the clothings, and they're looked at a certain type of way. And as an adult, why are they spending that type of money on childish things? But we're both doing something that we love. We're both doing something that we enjoy. Or the girl who likes the makeup and spends thousands maybe annually compared to the girl who likes the Funko Pops. Whatever brings you joy, I feel like you should be allowed to consume it, enjoy it. We're adults. We make our own paychecks. We should spend our money how we want to spend our money. So that was a really good point that he made. I just think that the overconsumption, the nerve of me, right? And that's not even the full collection. But I just think the overconsumption for people who don't care anything about what they're purchasing, I think that's where the real issue comes in.
Retro video game collectors have ruined collecting. My name's Eric. I love retro video games. Super Nintendo, Sega CD, Sega Genesis, all that stuff. I love it. I grew up with these systems. I was lucky enough, I had each one of the consoles at any given time. When I got a little older, I started selling them off. When PlayStation and Xbox came out, I would sell them. And as I got older, in my 30s and 40s, I missed having those old games. I missed my old systems. I wanted them back, so I started buying them. Several years ago, in 2017, 2019, these things were still cheap. Nobody really wanted them. Super Nintendo was maybe $40. Sega Genesis was even a little cheaper, and the games really weren't that bad. You could pick up a big collection pretty quickly. Now it's just completely out of control. Chrono Trigger, $200 to $250 on eBay now. I paid maybe $50, around 2019 for this. Final Fantasy 3 or 6. Again, another game just outrageously priced now. And these were not uncommon games. These were
He doing a soft flex on us right now, y'all. He pulling out the big guns like, this used to be this back in the day, but now he flexing on us, y'all.
common games. You can pick them up in any store. They're not super rare. I think this goes for about $100 now. The manual, if you want like the instruction manual, $50. Chrono Trigger, I think the manual on eBay right now ranges from about $100 to $150 for some paper. It's completely out of control. Not all games are super expensive, especially on Super Nintendo. There's still a lot of good deals you can pick up for great games. Zelda, I think it's only like $40 or $50 on eBay right now. Super common game. Even Mario Kart. Everyone loves Mario Kart. I think this is $30 or $40. So it's not all games, and things have gotten a little better. I would say in the past year, I do see the prices trending down again. They really peaked around 2020, 2021. So But, we see this across so many industries. Collectors tend to really dive into something and the price skyrockets and kind of ruins the experience for a lot of people. This is a big problem in Pokemon right now. I'm sure some of you have seen that. So anyway, collecting is fun. People need to enjoy their hobbies, but when the price gets out of control, it's time to just take a step back.
Agreed. Sometimes it's best to kind of step away from whatever it is you're collecting, especially if you're a completionist. In certain things, I am a completionist, but for the most part, I just like to have a good amount of a certain collection. But like with those Disney pins, I wanted the complete set and I was willing to pay aftermarket prices to get it. I did get the complete set, by the way, guys. It's sitting up in one of those cabinets right there right now. I don't know when I'm going to display it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I wanted my collection of Disney pins because it was that important to me at the time when I was collecting, and I wanted the complete set. So I was one of the ones that fell into the trap of resellers got them all. I missed my opportunity to buy it in person, even though I was showing up in the stores every week on time, in line. There were just weeks that I wasn't there early enough. Got my full collection, but some of them I paid more than I should have for the pins. Sometimes just step away. Like he said, when it gets to be too expensive, just step away.
Everyone's coming out as like having no hobbies and interests, and I love it. I've been waiting for this moment. Whole life, I've always been like, what do people do in their free time if they don't need something from Target? That's the only thing I know as my culture, as my activity. I'm just so grateful that that's becoming a mainstream acceptable thing to share.
Target, Costco, Starbucks, and reading is all I do. We're going to hear about reading a little bit later in this video. I hate dating apps because everyone apparently travels and goes on hikes. I'm like, where are the chill, lazy bums like me? That's easy. We go to Target anyway. Consumerism going crazy. So to me, there seems like there's an increasing amount of people who actually don't have hobbies and the only thing they like to do is consume, whether it be social media or products, going to stores, shopping.
My hot take is I think the internet kind of ruined hobbies. Think about it. Most people, they get home from work and make dinner or something, and then it's just on the phone scrolling. You get to the weekend and normally you would read a book, you'd go for a walk, you'd learn a new skill like playing guitar, an instrument, things like that. But those things take effort, and good dopamine requires effort. It requires working on something. So now we have all this free dopamine in our hand all the time. And so instead of focusing on a hobby, instead of doing something we may enjoy, but may take some effort, we just get on the phone. I don't know. I think kind of expanding on how bad these phones are and the short form video content is just going to get worse and worse. And people say they're bored all the time, but they're not really bored. They're just laying down, scrolling all the time.
You're doing things for the dopamine, and now you can get the quick dopamine by just picking up your phone and flicking your thumb a few times. What's the point in going out and enjoying the hobby? So that is a whole different way that social media, TikTok, Instagram, the internet as a whole is ruining hobbies. Wow. Good point.
I love this comment and I totally agree. And I think the root of it, and I talk about this a lot on my podcast, is our brains' need for immediacy. And because we're so used to things being available to us immediately, when someone shares a practice like journaling or a hobby or even reading, and I have a de-influencing video coming about book talk, I love that when people share, it ignites passion and gives people ideas to create that for themselves. But people forget that the ones that are sharing usually have been doing these practices or building up these collections, because we can also get into the whole analog trend, for years. And we're so obsessed with being able to have things immediately. You see someone with a journal ecosystem or a VHS collection, and you think you have to also have the same level and volume of things as they do in order to participate, or because you just genuinely want more stuff. People on the internet have become obsessed with the end result instead of what it takes to get there. When the Jane Birkin trend was going around, people wanted the symbol of use more than actually having a bag that you use over years and collect charms over years to like create your unique style. Same with book collections. Books can be collected over years and years and years and years. Instead of taking your time and paying your dues, people want the immediate feel and look of what it's taken someone potentially decades to create and refine.
Okay, now we're on TikTok, but I gotta throw an Instagram in here for you guys. And this girl, I mean, she has her apartment is set up in this whole 80s aesthetic. I'm gonna show you guys. And you can tell she put time and intention into this collection because it's something she's passionate about. Now, it came out, when I say it came out perfect. But imagine somebody trying to emulate that just because they saw it from her. It's not going to have that same feel. It's not going to have that same dedication and work put in. It's just going to feel like somebody threw some things in a room that fit the style. And I mean, I guess it could work, but you can tell that this space means something to her. And when I show you guys, you'll see what I'm talking about. You see how everything fits so perfectly, but you could tell it came from a decade or era that she actually cared about, like that she actually has some sort of attachment to. That's why she was able to put that space together so well. Like my collection that I have up there is so small compared to some people's Loungefly collections. I've been collecting those bags since they were under $50. When I tell you, you can't even get one now for under $90, which is crazy to me, and I don't even buy them as much anymore because they're so expensive. But I don't do it because everybody got to run out and get the bag when it comes out. I did it because I enjoyed it. I have a passion for Star Wars, Disney, Marvel. Like I'm a nerd. Y'all don't even know how deep it goes with Star Trek. I will nerd out on some Star Trek, but it's because I love it. It's because it's something that ever since I was a tiny little kid in the 90s, I would sit and glued in front of the TV in my mom and dad's room and watch Star Trek. When it came on, I was not leaving from in front of that TV. And I don't know why that show is so special to me, but like I care about it. It means something to me. So when I get like the tattoos, I got Black Panther, I got Iron Man, I got like that's because I actually care. Not care that deeply, but you know what I mean. It's because that stuff actually resonates with me. Like I have an attachment to that stuff. I'm not just doing it.
I genuinely love the fact that now we can have hobbies. Enjoyed Pokemon cards for 5 seconds, and then the scalpers ruined that. And then I was really into Nido cubes for about 2 minutes, and then the adult scalpers ruined that, which is weird. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, sorry, I thought someone was in my hair. I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, I just won't have a hobby. Maybe I'll touch some grass and that's my hobby, but then scalpers might come and like make grass extinct. I don't know.
Her sarcastically saying touch grass and that's a hobby when that's actually a good hobby to get outside. But Needles, those are fairly new, right? I remember one of my kids asking me for a needle, and those things were expensive. But for some reason, her saying that her collections were needles and Pokemon cards, like briefly for like a hot second, for some reason, I don't feel like she's like rooted in collecting.
I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud. Retailers and resellers are ruining hobbies. I literally just saw people complaining about tote bags because tote bags are now being bought in bulk and being resold by resellers. People aren't buying the resold shit, so they're sending it back to the store. But at that point, nobody really wants to go to Coach to get these damn bags. You got people scalping Pokemon cards and all other anime cards. And guess what? People don't want to buy that shit because they know resellers are going to come in and buy in bulk and keep taking the shit, even though resellers are retailers are supposed to stop people, but guess what? That's money out their pocket. Then you got the retailers themselves hiking up prices. Oh, like, I don't know, the PlayStation 5 is going up by $100, even though we know PlayStation 6 is coming out next year. Xbox, I don't even need to talk about them and that damn ROG Ally. They're ruining hobbies. And then they're sitting here, what pisses me off about them is they're sitting here scratching their heads like, why aren't people buying your shit? You ruined it. You ruined hobbies.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are some things in place at certain places where it's like, okay, you can only buy 2, you can only buy 3, or online, you can only put so many in your cart to try to mitigate some of the reselling. But, and this is something I saw a while ago, but there are people actually going into locations and setting up their TikTok or whatever it is so that they can actually be kind of running like shows where they're holding up an item. Hey, do you want to buy this? I'm here in the store. You can buy it for this price. And then if you say yes, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. So they're in these stores holding up all this product in their carts and trying to sell it off online. And if the item sells online, they'll go ahead and buy it. And I'm going to find a video of this because this was happening at a Disney store outlet. And it was just the craziest thing I'd ever seen. So let me show you guys.
I made it in the Disney store and it's much worse than I thought. All these people are on live and their wagons are overflowing. Look at this absolute mountain right here. Look at this. This is all people's stuff. They're just on live advertising things. They're literally having their own showcase on live. They're having live sales shows in the middle of the effing store. Look at this. Are you kidding me? How is this allowed? She has a live show going. Look at this. Seriously, what happened to families coming here, buying 1 or 2 things, getting some ears for their kids? No, it's turned into a sales event. This shouldn't be allowed. I can't believe this. Everybody's on live. All of this stuff is for one person that are selling. Yeah. Disney needs to put an end to this because this is not their store. This is the Disney Character Warehouse. This is not, Terry's online shopping extravaganza. I'm sorry.
The resellers are out and they're buying everything. Crazy. How is this allowed? That's ridiculous. All I wanted was a little bag charm and they have none. But there were all these resellers were out with carts and carts and bags of stuff. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm sure they're going to restock, and honestly, I'm sure it's going to be around for most of the season, so I'm not that worried, but crazy. Okay, that was absolutely insane.
Those glasses are cute.
I'm not one to complain, I try to have a positive attitude, but these resellers are insane and it should not be allowed. You should have seen them with carts and baskets just piled high with stuff. And it does say limit 2 per guest, but I'm sure maybe they're just checking out multiple times or they have obviously all their kids and family there, but all I wanted was a little bag charm and it's fine. I'm sure I'll come back around, but it was like the Hunger Games in there. It was absolutely insane. These people need to calm down and relax.
It takes away from the experience. Imagine that being your one trip down to Disney World and you want to buy something nice, but you see somebody over there with 20 of them stacked up in their cart because they about to go sell them for something crazy. You're there. You're physically there. Spent your money to get to Disney. And you can't even buy something because somebody hogging it all in their cart so they can resell it. This next video snuck in. It's not about TikTok ruining collection. So sorry, guys. But oh my goodness.
Never leave your door open if you have kids. Here is why. Made the mistake of leaving my door open for one night, forgot to close it. At the end of the day, they woke up before me, and here's the damage. You walk in, and this is the first thing you see. They decided they wanted to open a couple of Matchbox Supras. That's fine, one for each of them. Opened up both Skyline monster trucks, because why not? There's 2 of them. Decided to go through some of their favorites, like the keychains. They only targeted this one spot, though, for some reason. Then you come over here. There's a few empty spots on the wall. I'm a little sad they opened up this one because I just finally completed this collection. This was the first ever premium cars I got. They were a gift. So I'm going to have to get another one, but at least I got to open one now. And then you come over here, they could not get this Porsche out of the packaging, but they definitely shredded it up. And this is where my supers and treasure hunts are. I made the mistake of keeping the supers at the very bottom. They got to those. They only opened up 2 of them, though. The only reason I'm upset about that is because they opened up a super before I did. So I got an open Sunny truck and an open Camaro super. Who knew that kids like toys?
We not gonna pretend like he is not a serious collector, because he had a whole room dedicated to Hot Wheels, and not only did he have a whole room, that room was locked intentionally. Oh, my heart hurts for him. But the good thing though is he gets to get out there and do a little bit more collecting. So he's got some spaces to fill, keeps him busy, I guess. But the way these resale prices are, I don't know how long it's gonna take him to put that stuff back.
Scalpers have ruined collecting completely. This is coming from someone who's not only collected things for a long time, I'm talking Monster High dolls, as someone who collects Sunny Angels. The amount of resellers and scalpers that love to get their grimy hands on literally every launch. I don't know if y'all saw the Coach recently launched those pink, beautiful bags. And obviously it was going to be World War III on the website. So people naturally go in person to try to get one of these bags. I legit just saw a TikTok of a woman with her baby in the stroller just trying to get one of these bags. And she had to rush and was bumping into stuff just because of these resellers. Like, they were grabbing all the bags. They were just grabbing them, yanking them away. Like, what the fuck? I saw another one where a husband was in line with his daughter to get his wife one bag from that launch. And the second they entered the store, everyone was grabbing and grabbing and grabbing. There was one person with 8 bags checking out. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? What? This is great. This is literally what happens every single time. Like, we saw what happened with the Starbucks Bear Cups. And now you're gonna go over there and ruin someone's experience in purchasing a bag because you're gonna go double, triple the price. So if you're one of those resellers, one of those grimy little fuckers, this is for you. Yeah, this is why sometimes I don't even bother with these launches, because exactly all of these resellers and scalpers hop on there immediately. I'm telling you, I've been on this since literally Monster High has been releasing the exclusive dolls. Monster High did like a Nightmare Before Christmas collaboration, and I wanted those dolls so bad, but obviously they sold out immediately online. And now, a while after, they're still selling them for triple their price.
That's why I had to kind of switch my collection style up. Like, when I first was collecting bags, I would kind of search around to see when new bags were coming out, and then when the new bag would come out, if it was something that I would like, I would get it. But now I'm to the point where I like to search and see if I can find ones that I like that are on sale. Clearly I don't wear them, so there's no point in me rushing to be the first one to get it, but it's something that I want to add to my collection. So, lesson learned for me personally, don't try to be the first anymore, because you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You almost have to wait until they restock, if they restock, and then nobody cares about it anymore, which brings me to the point that I'm gonna make at the end of this video. It's just so crazy how everything is not only overpriced out of the gate, but then it's even higher once the resellers get their hands on it. And it's just making it not fun anymore for people who like to collect. Just want to make a final thought real quick here, guys. I support collectors. I love a good collection. I personally am a collector. I'm a big nerd. If it was in the budget for me to have more collections, I would probably have more collections, to be honest. But the actual fun, the enjoyment, the excitement of building and maintaining these collections has been tainted a bit by the exposure online, because people get a little bit carried away. They want it all, they want it now, and they want to sell it and make a profit. If it's not for them, they still want to get in on it. So I will say there's a lot of things that kind of make it hard for collectors right now, but here's the beauty, and this is what I wanted to wait until the end to share with you guys, which is how I see it. I know one thing about online is when something is trending, it's like that. If everybody wants Pokemon cards right now, give it a couple months, nobody will care. Who's ordering Starbucks Bear Cups right now? Not a soul, not a soul. Nobody cares about it anymore. So these hobbies that people are attaching themselves to and they're going out and buying all the things and doing all the resale and taking up all the space, acting like they care about the culture. Don't worry, it'll phase out. If you're true to whatever it is you're collecting or true to whatever it is your hobby is, it'll still be there for you once the wave comes back down. If you're still here, I want to personally thank you guys for sticking with me till the end of the video. And if you made it this far and decided you do like it here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, love you guys. I will see you in the next one.